Hello there everyone, and welcome to another edition of Lydia's Crafty Corner. With me, Lydia, in my little crafty corner. So today we are going to be talking about colour blocking. So this is a really fun technique, very easy, and I'm going to show you how to do this with a little bit of added stenciling in as well. So I'm going to be using the Leaf Burst stencil from Altenew. It's a very pretty mandala leaf kind of design, and I'm going to be using panels. So these are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm going to attach these down to my work surface, and I'm also going to attach the stencil. So I'm just doing it at the top, so it's like a kind of hinge, so I can flip it back and forth whenever I need to. I am using some post-it tape to make my colour blocking design, so I've just added this in like a triangle effect, and I'm going to add in some ink. So for this first layer I'm going to be using Mountain Mist. This is one of my favourite colours. I'm sorry, I keep using it again and again. I try not to be drawn towards it, but I can't help it. It's just so pretty. So I'm using a little finger dauber to add the colour within the triangle that I've just made with the post-it tape. You could use washi tape or anything, or painter's tape. Anything you have on hand will do this. So I've kept that painter's tape in position, the post-it tape, sorry, and I'm now going to be using Volcano Lake, and I'm going to add the colour to this stencil over the top, but within that triangle that we put down with the tape. So as you can see, I'm just doing it between the lines of the tape so I can keep this kind of contained within the triangle that we've already inked with the Mountain Mist. I'm then going to remove the tape, and then you're going to see how pretty this looks. You could just do it like this if you wanted to. You could just have one little thing, but I'm going to go for it. I'm going to add in a couple more. So I'm adding the tape back into place this time. It's a little bit larger, and I'm going to be using Buttercream for this one. So I did go for a colour combo of yellow, pink, lagoony colours, and also a grey. So I'm just going to quickly add the colour to this triangle that we've just masked off. I have used the tape again. You can use your tape again if you would like to, but make sure it's nice and dry from the last colour, because you don't want to add in any mucky bits to the sides. So I'm just using a little finger dauber again. I do have finger daubers for nearly all of my colours, but I kind of just stay within the same colour tone, so you don't worry if it's a little bit lighter or darker, just go for it. Again, I'm going to flip my stencil back over from the little hinge made with the washi tape. Flipped it back over, and I'm going to go in with Mango Smoothie this time over the stencil, but within those triangle lines that we've created with the masking tape. Again, I'm going to remove the tape, and look how pretty that looks already. Again, the same as before, I'm going to add in my little triangle shape that I want to ink in between. This time I'm going with Pink Diamond, and I'm just going to go for this. I'm just going to ink it up really quickly, as quickly as I can. I did speed it up a little bit. Again, a finger dauber with a pink shade, and I'm just I start with the edges first, and then kind of colour in the whole of the block. It doesn't matter how you do it, just make sure that it's nice and even when you do. So there we go, there is the Pink Diamond all done. Again, I flipped the stencil over, and this time I am going in with Puffy Heart. This is a really pretty pink. I think it's got kind of a blue tone to it, and it's very sweet. So as you can see, I've kept between those lines again that we've created with the masking tape, and removed them once I have finished. And then this is the last one that I am going to be doing, so I'm just going to pop them into place. I did leave a little bit of a white gap between the colours. You don't have to if you don't want to. You could butt them right up to each other. I just found that this was easier to leave that little bit of a white gap. Once I've added the limestone in, I've flipped the stencil back over from its little hinge, and this time I'm adding some silver stone on top of that one. Now for one of the cards, I did leave it as it is right now, so I have kept one of the panels exactly the same. But for this one, I went a little bit further, and all I've done is I've taken a black fine line pen, and I've just gone through all of the spaces in the stencil and just outline them. So it's not hard, it's quick, it's pretty easy to do this. It does take a little bit of time, and as you can see, I've put a little bit of scratch paper down on top of the stencil, so I didn't do any smudging. So that's why the scratch paper is there while I was adding the fine line pen through all of the stencil cut out. I then decided to do a different background. So this one I haven't attached down to my workspace, sorry. So this piece is free moving, and I've just added some tape back into position to create a triangle. And this time I'm adding a bit of a gradient to these triangles because we're going to be doing a different technique with this one. So I've used Mountain Mist and Volcano Lake again, and I've added Volcano Lake to the edge and the Mountain Mist to the other edge, and then I blended them in the center. So this gives a really pretty gradient look, a little bit different than the normal solid base from the other card. So for the second triangle, I then used the limestone and the silverstone. And for this third triangle here, I am using the Buttercream and Mango Smoothie. So I've used the same inks I did in the first panel that we just created, but this time there's a gradient effect rather than the solid color and then a different color on top of it using the stencil. Again, I'm using the same pinks, so I've used the Rose Quartz. Sorry, I did say pink diamond before, it's not, it's Rose Quartz, and then Puffy Heart for the base of the triangle, so just to create the gradient effect there. And then I've added in a couple more triangles. I have used the same colours as I did before, so the Mountain Mist and the Volcano Lake for the turquoise colours, the limestone and silverstone for the greys, the mango smoothie and the buttercream for the yellow, and also again the rose quartz and puffy heart for the pink as well. So I kind of covered this one a lot more than the other one. You don't have to if you don't want to. You can go as much as you want or as little as you want with your colour blocking. It really does give a really great effect, and if you missed out that pink colour, this would definitely work for a guy's card as well. So as you can see, I'm just finishing it off. I did leave small amounts of white, not very much, but there is a little bit of white in there just to make the colours pop a little. I do find that leaving that little bit of gap around the triangles really does make them pop from the card a little bit more. I've then added my stencil back into place over this piece, and I am just using some white pigment ink to go through the stencil. So this is just white pigment ink, and I'm going over the whole of it. You could leave out the bits that don't go over any colours if you wanted to, but it was just easy for me to go over it all. I'm then added my panels onto some card bases. I've added mine onto some coloured card bases just to make them a little bit more fun when the recipient opens them. You don't have to, you could add them onto white ones if you wanted to. For my sentiment, I am using some of them from the circled sentiment stamp set, and I have cut them out using the circled sentiment die. To add a little bit more of black to tie the sentiment in, I have just added a little bit of cotton twine underneath my sentiment, and I've just adhered this into place with some foam tape. So for a little bit of added extra embellishment, I am using some enamel dots. I'm colouring them in using my jet black artist marker, just so they all are black. So the artist markers can colour your enamel dots if you want them to, because they are alcohol markers, so they will colour these enamel dots and keep them nice and bold. So I just finished all of the cards off in the same way with the circled sentiment, the cotton twine and the enamel dots, and they all look really, really cool and also very, very different with the different techniques we used. So thank you so much for watching. I really do hope that you have enjoyed the video. If you don't want to miss out on any of the videos that we do upload to the channel, it would be great if you do subscribe, and then you won't miss out on anything. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again really, really soon. Goodbye.